He smashed a bottle over some girl's head and he doesn't even face jail. Furious thug who fractured his girlfriend's skull with a beer long neck is said to avoid prison because of his genuine remorse and regret. A man who smashed a beer bottle over his girlfriend's head causing her permanent skull damage is likely to avoid spending time in prison, a court has heard. James Russell struck his now ex-partner, Bianca Campbell, who was 18 at the time, over the head with a long neck of Carlton Dry and left her lying unconscious on a footpath in Chittaway, on the Central Coast, in 2016. The pair were in an argument on their way to a bottle shop on February 23, where Russell, then 20, bought 3 of the 700 ml bottles, after telling Ms. Campbell he wanted to take his own life. They went for a walk on the footpath along Buraga Road where the argument escalated, and as Russell went to walk ahead, Ms. Campbell grabbed him from behind, Gosford District Court heard on Friday. Russell, who was unemployed at the time, then swung around, smashing the bottle across Ms. Campbell's head and causing her to fall to the ground unconscious. The court heard he sat her up and was able to get her conscious, but decided to leave in his car, later telling police he left to get a towel or some help. Ms. Campbell tried standing and walking but again fell unconscious. A passerby then waited with her until paramedics arrived. She was taken to Yon Hospital and was later flown to Royal North Shore Hospital where she was treated for a large laceration and fracture. Despite receiving emergency surgery, she was left with a permanent depression in her skull. Russell returned to the scene and apologized to her after emergency crews arrived, the court heard. He was initially charged with assault occasioning actual bodily harm, reckless grievous bodily harm and wounding, and using the beer bottle as a prohibited weapon. His lawyers applied to have his case dealt with under the Mental Health Act because he was dealing with depression and anxiety, but the application was rejected. He pleaded guilty to 1 count of recklessly causing grievous bodily harm on the first day of his trial. Russell had been in full-time employment since the incident and worked as a roof tiler for the past 6 months, the court heard. Judge Michael Bozick said he accepted Russell demonstrated genuine remorse and genuine regret. Essentially he has led a life free of violence, he has a job, he has family support, he has stable accommodation. I'm satisfied he does have very good prospects of rehabilitation, Judge Bozick said. Judge Bozick said he accepted his offense occurred against a background of his mental health issues, but believed it did not diminish his criminality. He ordered the 23-year-old to undergo an assessment by probation and parole to assess whether he was suitable to serve his sentence, a 9-month jail term, in the community by way of an intensive corrections order. Ms. Campbell revealed in her impact statement the extent to which she had suffered and how her injuries were a lifelong sentence for both herself and her family. She said her anger and resentment toward Russell burned deep, particularly because he was walking around happy like nothing has happened. Speaking outside court she said the sentence for Russell's unforgivable actions had left her speechless, Express Advocate reported. I don't think it's fair the way domestic violence is dealt with, Ms. Campbell said. He smashed a bottle over some girl's head and he doesn't even face jail. It sends the wrong message to other domestic violence offenders they can do it and get away with it. And it's unfair to drag on for so long. We need more action about domestic violence especially with so many people doing it. Not only has these events affected me but the ripple effect on my whole family is unforgivable.